What's up, streamers? Back tonight. Got the lovely lady behind the boards, Big Aaron again, and me myself. Tonight's conversation is going to be like a real happy conversation. It's actually kind of depressing. Some of the topics we're going to be talking about, even though I don't believe in depression. I said that in another video. Check it out. Um, Facts.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to talk about some of the things that occurred over the Easter weekend. Hopefully, everybody tuning in had a good Easter weekend. However, some of the stuff I talked about, some people didn't. So, I'm going to give you a quick rundown and then we're just going to discuss because at the end of the day, my question is what the fuck is the matter with this society? So, some of the headlines coming out of this weekend is 45 people shot, 2 dead in Chicago over the weekend. 20 people shot, 4 dead in Philly over the weekend. 4 people shot, including an infant, at an Alabama church where they were holding a festival. And that was after, like, I guess a brawl occurred, and then shots rang out. In Detroit, at this hotspot, Greek town, there was a big brawl with 25 to 40 people, men beating the hell out of each other. People, there's a video of people being dragged down the street. There's one part of the video where a guy gets knocked out, and like 4 or 5 other guys are just beating the hell out of him. Like he's sleeping literally on the curb, right? There's reports where he got sent to the hospital. He's in stable condition now, but he took it pretty rough. And meanwhile, people are just laughing and joking about it, like just filming the shit. And then probably if that wasn't bad enough, all that, there's the manhunt going on. This guy's going across different state lines. There's a manhunt for a guy named Stevens, and if anyone sees this guy, check it out. If you see him, call the authorities. Um, but he killed a 74-year-old man live on Facebook. He just streamed it live. You can watch the video if you're up to it. I did. I wish I didn't. But you can hear him. He's in his car. Says, "I'm gonna go kill me this guy right now." Gets out, walks up to the guy, asks the guy to do him a favor. The old man turns around and says, "What's up?" And he says, "Say this name." It's his girlfriend's name or ex-girlfriend's name or whatever. And at that point, he goes, "This is the reason. She's the reason why this is about to happen to you." And then he raises his gun. You can see the old man. He has a bag in his hand, and he's like, "I have nothing to do with this." And then he kills the guy, and he's been on a statewide chase. So these are the headlines coming out of Easter weekend. It's a holiday. It's supposed to be happy, joyous, whether you're Christian or not. It's supposed to be still. This shouldn't be in our society to begin with. So when I started reading these headlines, like each one of them, like kind of like hit me to a point where I kept asking myself, like, where the fuck are we? Not as a world, because there's things that go on in third world countries, and not saying that that ain't bad, but let's focus on where we're at.
Our
And
society.
yeah, our society, our country, the United States, we're supposed to be the greatest country ever. We're free, supposedly, freedom of speech. We can do this, we can do that. All these rights that we have that so many other countries don't have the liberty of.
Yeah.
And this is how we act. Now, I'm not talking about race, sex, or anything about this. This is just how our people, Americans, act now. There was violence at Berkeley. I already talked about that. But why is violence so accepted in our culture? It can't be Mortal Kombat. It can't be the music, the movies. There's something more. There's an underlying tone, and I'm going to warn you now that this topic, I'm going to end up drinking 1, 2, 3 beers because it's disgusting. It disgusts me. Really, like, to the pit of my stomach, it disgusts me. So, right now, I'm going to give it up to y'all. Give me some of your views. I'm going to bounce off y'all.
Yeah, it's just there's so much going on now in a place that's supposed to be we're supposed to be so advanced and so civilized and have so much going for us. And you don't hear about stuff like this happening in third world countries. I mean, senseless violence. I mean, there's violence over money, drugs, diamonds, whatever, in Africa, South America, but you don't hear about somebody just walking up to a man they've never met and shooting him for no reason. I mean, it seems to me that it's a privilege almost of
Like first world privilege.
exactly. It's a first world privilege, and it doesn't make any sense because if you're doing so well as a people, as a society, you shouldn't really have reasons to be doing things like that. You know,
Well, like back in human history, like when people are like you say like hunter gatherer, right? And so it's like yeah, you're gonna beat up another tribe because they're near where the food source
They
is,
got the
right?
food
Like
you
and so
want,
I'm
yeah.
gonna beat this one up, or we're gonna conquer this one for this because we need this, right?
there's justification for that.
Well,
It's not right, but there's
Right,
reasons.
but you're thinking like animal-based instinct, right? Like we joke around and call it like the lizard brain, right? Like that's just your human instinct
Yeah.
of this thing. But there's no like one, we're so far evolved from that, right? Like just so far beyond it. And then you think, what would cause you to go, yeah, let me go back to that. Let me
Yeah.
go back to
Well,
listening
we're
to that
acting like
lizard brain.
Neanderthals.
Yeah.
Is really what we're acting.
Yeah, like rocks
yeah.
and beating sticks and stuff at people. You know,
There's no like civilized manner anymore.
Yeah.
Like everybody thinks it's all right to act out now. Like it's not all right to throw bricks and rocks at people because you oppose their view. It's not okay to just walk up. You know they have the knockout game.
Oh gosh,
You know
Yeah.
that's been around for a while. Like okay, I've been in many fights myself. I can be violent. I understand violence in certain tones. You know, and maybe some of these things were like two rival gangs. I don't really know, but when you just see people watching it and getting enjoyment out of it, like I like a good boxing match, but that's a little bit different. When the guy falls and gets knocked out, yeah, we all go ooh, but they don't keep stomping him.
No,
You know,
no. And
like-
after it's over, they hug. Sometimes they're friends, or sometimes they don't like each other at all. But
Yeah.
they're like, he was a good fighter. He right, and you do all these things, and
well, it's a sport.
yeah,
Hunting is a sport, so killing is a sport. But,
Yeah, but-
not just walking up killing a defenseless man who had nothing to do with your girlfriend or ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're live streaming it. Like people are videotaping the fights, and they send it to like website. Like they got what is it, World Star Hip Hop,
Mhm.
where like if you have a great knockout, you can send it there, and they'll put you in the top box or what. It's really sickening.
Yeah.
It's a sick society that we live in. You know.
I just don't. And there's no justification for it. But sometimes you'll see in the background of these videos, like, oh snap, you. That's what you get, and it's like, they got for what?
Yeah.
For what? I don't understand, right? Like, I don't understand that point at all. Like, at all. I
Well-
can't, I don't, you know, we've discussed this many times that I don't wrap my head around violence like that. Like, we all get angry, right? I'm not saying I never get angry, but to do so much harm, right? So much.
Yeah.
Because this isn't just, we got a little scrap and, you know, with my buddy, and, you know, but we're going to be friends next week, right? We're going to
Yeah.
cool down. Go,
Yeah. It's one thing when you get upset with someone and you know.
Right, like kids wrestle around or whatever, they're mad at each other, you know,
Yeah.
little brothers and sisters
Watch it.
and everything.
smack them, you punch them, you cuss
Right,
at
and you're
'em,
like,
but you
well,
don't
you know what?
beat
But
the
those are
crap out of
children, and children
Yeah.
don't have emotional control over themselves. They don't have the ability. They haven't quite learned how to control their
Yeah.
inner
They don't have the understanding.
ideas to put it into words to say, you know what, this really upsets me. It's really pissing me off. Back off, right?
Yeah.
Like you're pushing
So-
my buttons. But they're not. This is not children. These are adults behaving like children, and I just don't get it. I just don't understand. You know, that's the one that gets me. It's like, well,
Well, no,
it's like I'm
children
morally
don't need
justified.
to hurt people.
No, they
typically.
don't. They don't recognize their own strength. They don't, right? Like Mice of Men, great book, right? It's the
Yeah.
same story.
I mean,
He doesn't know.
people are. We've turned our society into just savages. We have a lot of savages out there.
I think they turn them into children. It's forever. It's never your fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's
Well, yeah.
and it just continues this
So where
childlike
does that come from?
behavior where they have to have instant gratification. They have to have, you know, everything right now. I'm going to handle this right now with my fist rather than with words because I don't know how to. I'm like emotionally constipated and I can't use my words, which makes us better and bigger than everything else on the planet. Is
Yeah.
our ability to, you know, pull words and make a picture in somebody else's head with what I can say. Like that's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And now you can't do that, so you're just going to use your fists? You're
Well,
gonna
there's a
use...
great majority of people that can't even process their own thoughts right, as far as dialogue goes.
I mean, do you
You
think
know,
that's like a lack of reading, or like what? You only need simple words. I mean,
well, like, and this is not totally on the same subject, but so throughout all the debates and the election and everything, you either had, oh, Trump's a racist, he's a bigot. Well, why? Well, didn't you see? And it's like, that's not an argument.
right.
Or, Clinton's a crook. And it's
Why?
like, well, can you give me some facts behind that? Why do you have this opinion? Whether or not I agree with you or not, can you give me,
Yeah.
you know...
You gotta have a basis for your argument.
Yeah.
You can't just say, well, this is why he is. Well, because you say he is, or someone else said he was. Like if you on the news,
But
that's
as a
not
kid,
the
you get
reason.
told because I said so. You're like, that's a terrible
Exactly.
reason. That's a terrible reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very similar. I don't want to get off into the politics of that type of discussion, but no, if you ask these people, like, why are you so angry? They're like, the man, or
Life sucks.
this, or, but how many of them can actually go, look, it started here, and blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
Like, I'm in a rut and I just have fallen in it and I just can't seem to get out of it. And every time I turn around, something worse happens when I feel like I'm making positive moves. And you'd be like,
because I mean,
okay,
like
man,
I
it's
said,
all right,
I've been one to use violence before, so I understand some violence. Guys fight. You're at the bar, whatever, a little bit of too much testosterone, that happens, right? However, like, full out melees where people are doing that type
did you ever want to, like, did somebody you know ever make you so mad you wanted to kill them? Like, in cold blood? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
or be like, that stranger over there. Like,
No.
they walk too close to me at the urinal, so I'm gonna kill that guy in the parking lot. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
No.
These are like senseless,
Well, there was people like at
nonsensical.
the bar or anywhere that I've seen, and just by the way they acted, I was like, I don't like this person.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna stay away from that guy, right?
Aggressive.
Well, no.
Like, get away from
Well, when I was younger, I would
Mhm.
kind of gravitate toward that. So no, it's bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would gravitate toward that. Like, I don't like this guy. Somehow, I'd always end up in the stool near him.
Let me go talk shit to this guy.
Yeah, it would end up there, and then it would happen.
It get worse and worse.
And I kind of understand that, but the gravity, like, I never wanted to shoot anyone.
Yeah.
Maybe punch in the mouth multiple times.
And there's
Yeah.
a big difference.
But as soon as you grab guns and stuff, it's like, I hear all these people talk about how
It's like intense, right?
well, how they're real and they're tough guys and this and that. I'm like, as soon as you grab a gun and you're not, like Chris Rock had a funny skit. And not that I condone stabbing people either, but he's like, real men use knives because anybody can shoot somebody from far away. It takes a real man to get up close and stab you. And there's a little bit of like,
Little truth, like a little
there's a little
nugget
bit of truth to that. Like,
right.
anybody can just start firing shots, and it's weakness. Like, as soon as people get a gun in their hand, they get big. You're probably a little weak guy before, scared to even put up your dukes, and now you want to shoot people. And I'm not even saying I condone always like fighting or anything. Like, there are reasons to, and most of the times I got in a fight, it was over a dumb reason. I can look back at that now and go, what the hell was I thinking?
Well, I mean, anytime you're gonna bring something other than your body, right? Like, I would think that is cheating, right? Like, that's cheating. Yeah. When you're a kid and you watch wrestling and you think it's real, and somebody goes and like sneaks and gets to the chair, and you're like, oh, look out, look out. And you're like, oh my goodness, right? And you're freaking out, and Hulk's about to get, beat upside the head, and they're cheating because they used a chair, right? Because you know it instinctually that that's not fair, that fight just went sideways because somebody's cheating. Like, you know it's not fair. And so, I mean, I kind of feel like that too. Like, if you were like, wow, somebody got in a fight and people just, got a dumb argument at the bar or something, and they started fist fighting and somebody got really, really hurt, right? Like even the dude, a lot of times you'll see like when they sober up, they're like, oh my gosh, like I really hurt somebody, right? Like football and stuff. Like I didn't. Yeah, you want to hurt them, but you don't actually want to hurt
Well,
them.
maim them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like oh my gosh, you know, I mean that'll ruin people's minds, right?
Well,
But
and like I said,
this
it's
kind of
not-
stuff is like it's just
The-
nonstop.
Other than the guy, the people shooting people,
Uh-huh.
not that. Other than the people shooting people, especially the guy that just killed the 74-year-old man.
All right.
Now, some of these other shootings in Philly and Chicago, I'm not gonna say I condone it in any way, but I don't know what it was about. You know, like some of them could have been protecting themselves from somebody trying to rob them. I don't really know.
It could have
It's
been.
just the sheer number that's disturbing.
Yeah,
right?
especially
And
when you
then-
look at a place like Chicago, how many people have already lost their life this year and already been shot this year? Like that's a modern day war zone in
Yeah.
our states. Like
Yeah.
people are like, well, we're not as bad as these. No, right here is a hellhole.
But don't
What
they
can
have
we
that-
do to fix this?
They call it like Chirac, and they call it
Yeah.
because it's like more
And-
deaths than like
and
in the wars.
It's a lot more.
If you look it
Yeah.
up, it's like especially Chicago, they have the toughest gun laws in
Yeah.
the country. So it's not gun laws, and I don't believe that stripping guns away is an answer. No, that's.
I think
definitely
the
not an
problem's
answer.
bigger than this, right? Like the bigger than what,
Well, it's
what
the-
legislation can we
It comes
write
to the
here and
mind
there?
state.
Yeah.
And I guess the education and where do you get the thought process that it is okay to just like why are people shooting at a church like a church?
A church function.
Yeah, at a church like okay maybe this the place at Greektown in Detroit I hear it's a hot spot, probably a lot of clubs, a lot of trouble happens out at bars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That stuff happens. You get a lot of drinking, maybe some sexy ladies, hot rods, and a lot of male bravado.
Macho-ness, yeah.
Yeah, because we all are, caveman.
Well, it's the ladies that do it to you.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we got to show our strength.
Right.
So, like, I get some of that. But, killing the 74-year-old man, like, what is the mind state behind it? Like, is it the education?
Yeah. How are you
how are we evolving to this? Like, there's always been fighting. Guys would duke it out.
Well, it's
for their love or whatever it was.
a while back. It was the those people that abducted that autistic kid.
Well,
And
that
just
and,
tortured
and
him.
people
And
were
you're like, why?
live streaming rape and
Yeah.
well, that's
That was just, I guess,
Okay,
Sweden or whatever.
that's another
But you're like,
thing
why?
about this society. So you heard about the kidnapping and torture of the autistic kid and then the live streaming of raping and there's been a couple other live stream rapes and murder cases.
Yeah.
Right?
They're just popping up here. It
Yeah,
feels
it's
like
just boom,
more
boom, boom, boom.
recently it's been a thing.
You can look it up. I actually seen a headline earlier today. It was like 11 live streamed criminal acts in the last year and a half. And I see this even at my own place of work and talking to people. When these cases come up, and says, "You hear about that?" And the first thing everyone says, "What a fucking idiot! Who's gonna live stream that? Why would you do that?" And it's like, can we talk about the torture and kidnap? Can we talk about the rape?
Yeah.
Yes, they are idiots for live streaming. They just incriminated themselves. They might as well call the police.
Part
and
of
say,
you's
"Hey,
like,
this
good,
is what
I'm
we're
glad
doing."
that you're live streaming it because
Yeah.
it's easier to find you.
Exactly. But the sick thing is that the first reaction from people is what kind of idiots they are because they live streamed it. Not how horrible it was that they
No
raped,
empathy, no
or
sympathy.
that, or like the followers. Like I think it was the rape. There was 45 people tuned in the whole time. Facebook didn't take it down for 50 hours or something like that. It stayed up for extended time.
Yeah.
And people just viewed it. No one called the police. No one called the authorities. I'm like, that's not snitching. This fuck shit needs to be taken care of. Like, you can't let that walk around.
Yeah.
Because before you know it, that's you or your neighbor, one of your family members. Why is our first reaction is to just view shit and be like, that's stupid. I can't believe they're even doing that.
Well, it's one thing if you go, wow, that was a really violent movie I just watched, or
Yeah.
that was
No,
right.
but
because
they're
you
not
know
talking
it's
about the
CGI,
criminality
it's,
about it.
Well, I'm saying, this is CGI. You know this isn't real. You know this is real.
Yeah.
They're telling you this is real. This is not staged. It's real, and everybody's watching it like it's just another channel on TV. That was my point, right? That you're like, how did you just sit there and watch? One, what is wrong with you that you even watched that
Yeah.
live
And
and
didn't-
didn't go, oh my God, and start calling the authorities immediately? So there's something wrong with the 45 viewers or whatever that also saw it and did nothing, right?
That's what I'm getting at. Like, where are we at as a society that we want to watch this in the first place? We think it's okay. We're not alerting the law.
Mm-hmm.
And our first reaction is, well, they're stupid for doing it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like they knew they were going to get called.
Like, what has happened to us as a society that made us so desensitized
Yeah.
to
Well,
all the aggression and violence?
I really don't understand it. Like, I don't know if you can blame it on education, victimization, what narrative
I think
you
it's
can place
narrative.
this in.
Yeah.
But like, it's unruly, and there's really, I'm at a loss from words from like
Do you
actually
think it's
my
parenting?
probably some. I mean, if I'm telling you, say you're my child, and I go, you know, these bastards out here, there's reasons why we're living like this, then you will maybe feel that way toward them and think it's okay to treat them that way, especially if I treat you negatively.
Right.
But even then, you got to have a conscious mind of your own and go, fuck you. Like, how many times have we said fuck you to your parent, our
Well,
own
in
parents?
your head, I mean,
Well,
I wouldn't
yeah,
say
I'm
that
not saying that out loud,
right?
like, all kids do things that their parents don't approve of. So I don't, like, you can blame some of it on parenting, even if your father abuses you, right?
Well, right. There's a certain point in your life where it's like self-responsibility, right? Like,
Well, it's
I
always
view my family and go, wow, I don't, right? Like, I'm not going to grow up like that. I don't want to
Yeah.
do that. I don't
You
want
get
to
to a
live that
certain
life.
point where you're like, I'm my own person. I agree with some of their things, but I don't.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
really
have to
love
agree
the
with all of
cookies
it.
my mom made. I did not
Yeah.
like when she hit me upside the head, right? Like
Yeah.
those kinds of things. Like,
Exactly.
I'm not going to do that to my kid.
Yeah.
I really hated that. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, is it maybe not just the parenting, but it's a lack of like I said, it's like children. Like they've never grown up, because if you grow up, you go, I'm not going to do these things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make these choices, or I am going to make these choices, or because I was beaten as a kid, I'm going to beat my kids. Like people are making a conscious choice.
They don't understand the real value and the accountability or the problems that can come from the decisions they're making.
Right.
They don't see the value of a human life or the issues you can cause in someone's life when you abuse them or show them these things. Because even just watching these videos, I'm sure it can't be good for you.
No. Like, well, to me, it's sickening.
Exactly. Well, I mean, yeah, but
I couldn't watch that like the autistic one. Like I tried, and I was like, I can't
oh
do
yeah,
this.
there's no way I could.
I
watch
can't. I watched about like what they showed on the news, like those like 5-second clips, and that's
Yeah. I
mean,
about
like-
what I can handle.
Like, at first, I kind of understood, like, world star hip hop, right?
Right.
Because I remember being in high school, when there was a fight, I was one of the guys that, like,
You go,
was
"Oh,
part of the
oh,
crowd,
oh."
like, oh,
You-
no!
You run towards it.
Yeah, and ran
Yeah, but
toward
again,
it.
you were a child.
Yeah.
These are adults, right? Not all of them always.
Not,
but
yeah.
even at 18, it's just like, that's the argument. Oh, I'm big. I can do all these things, right? You can, sign up for the military. You get to vote. You get to buy cigarettes. All this stuff, right? You're an adult. You are legally responsible for yourself. And so, no, you can't always blame it on parents. But at the same time, when do you stop going, well, they're kids. They're kids. Well, they're 18, 19-year-old kid. No, you're an adult. That's an adult.
Well, yeah, you're an adult, and you're doing adult, not saying actions, but
You can run off and get married if you want to. You can do a whole
Well,
lot of things. You can.
when you start beating people in the street, you get charged as an adult.
Yeah, but
Point blank. But at the same time, like, I had the talk about depression. Like, isn't this a form of weakness? Because obviously, you're either have an entitlement issue where you think that you're just allowed to go around and do this stuff, or you think that low of yourself and everybody else that
Right.
you can go around and do this, or whatever the case is. Like, there's something fragile in your mind.
it's causing you to think this is all right.
Yeah,
See what
or
I'm saying?
even if you know that this isn't all right, you're still going,
You're like, what?
fuck it.
Yeah.
But
But
like, it still doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
with what you were saying about how, well, you were in high school when you enjoyed that. Yes, but when you're in high school and somebody's getting the shit beat out of them. It's generally someone you know. And if they're getting hit by somebody and you knew they had a problem, you're like, ooh, here it is. I was waiting for this. When you're watching World Star or watching these streams, you don't have the kind of justification behind it. Exactly.
You don't have the build up.
There's no point to watch.
Like in boxing matches, they pit them against each other.
They build
up
the
fight.
months.
Yeah. Pacquiao and Mayweather, that was 5 years in the making.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, but there's a justification for you to want to watch. Not that it's right.
I understand that. Right.
But you say, ooh, his girlfriend cheated on him with him. That's why they're beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
But when you're watching the videos, it's like, why is this amusing to anybody? It doesn't have the same.
Because you're not like maybe emotionally.
You're not emotionally involved, exactly.
Right. So you're kind of like.
Not that you should be.
No, but even when like kids got in fights at schools, it was kind of like, what's going on? Why?
Yeah.
Really? Why are we doing really? You know this is going to affect you in a long-term way.
Yeah.
You're going to get expelled.
I agree, but
well, I guess that's why I said I always looked at it a lot differently. I guess I'm just a different person. I just I don't get it. It's not worth it. Like, what is worth it?
Exactly.
Right? What is worth this?
I always thought, in my head, even if I get really angry at somebody, I'm like, man, I'm gonna strangle you.
You wouldn't really. It's an expression.
Exactly.
Right?
30 seconds later, I'm just thinking, man, I just want to get away from this person. There's no reason.
Yeah, I can't.
For me
Even
to
if I
hurt
calm
them
down
physically.
and try to put my thoughts and my emotions into words, this person's still not going to hear me. So you're like, no, and I'm just
There's no point. I just want to get
I'm
away.
done.
I just don't want to ever talk to this person again.
Well, I mean, I remember being in high school and even further after, well into my 20s, my early 20s. I would get physical. Like I said, you'd be at the bar scene or whatever, and something stupid would roll over, and you just would not think it through all the way. And then you got this whole crowd around you, and you're like, well, I don't want to
gotta do something.
Yeah, and then somebody's going to be the punk, and it ain't going to be me. And it's really weak-minded, and I'll own that. Like, I was very weak-minded when I was younger. I always thought that I had to prove things, when walking away would have been proving that I was smarter than the rest of the people.
Yeah.
Right.
But I didn't think it through.
You don't realize that.
Yeah. I didn't realize that, Even you'd have your girlfriend at the time like, no, don't fight, stop fighting. And it's like, oh, I got to show. And it's like, you didn't even win brownie points with her, but, like she's going to love you with a fat lip and a black eye. She will, but, like,
She's still gonna be like,
it doesn't work out. Yeah, you fucking idiot. I don't hear you whining.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't even get you ice. Like, suffer.
All right, well, I'm going to take a time out on this one. And be back to you soon.
Break.